Let me be the first to say,
My guy.
Radio Rahim with Dr. Bernard Hopkins.
Yes, I'm getting my honorary degree at Temple, May 9th in Philadelphia. First of all, I'd like to thank the university. I'd like to thank the trustees. And also, I would give my honor and word at the end that I will stay under 5 minutes because I'm telling Radio Rahim on Seconds Out right now that I'm only allowed to speak for 5 minutes because it's about the graduation of 2019 at Temple. But again, I'm honored to be Dr. Hopkins after May 9th when I received my honorary degree at Temple University.
They need to have a degree specifically in pugilist science because you are a scientist, sir. No one can argue that. I don't care who your favorite fighter is. This man is a scientist and a doctor now. And I would like to get your assessment because tonight we show up, every fight week for the big fights. They have a card like this. A lot of people don't come out. It's just kind of, something that the real heads pop in. Yeah, keep you busy. And in the main event, we saw a tremendous show. An upset. I think we definitely call that an upset.
Definitely. I did. And before the fight. And sorry.
Chris Pearson won that belt at 160 pounds. And I think throughout the entire fight, it was a tremendous amount of action. You didn't really know which way it was going to go. When they were reading the scorecards, that weren't very close cards, but I still didn't know which way the judges saw it. Talk to me about what you saw tonight and how you saw that fight.
I seen really a fight that Yama was really controlling early on, but I also seen Pearson unload his arsenal of hand speed, kind of rebellious in his corner when he was really having a debate with his legendary trainer / teacher about what he was doing. Because obviously, if you look at the replay, they weren't on the same page. What he was doing seems to be a smart and right move. Keeping his hands up, earmuffs, they call them, countering when he can. Gave some rounds away. Some rounds was close because he fought at the end. And it had to do with some really tight-looking judging from what was thrown from both guys. The decision to me, the score as far as being wide as it was, look, it didn't have any effect on the outcome. It didn't have any effect on the action of the fight. So, Radio Rahim, on that note, it was a great fight, action fight, upset fight, and I'm pleased to go into this night of boxing, Facebook, to go into the zone on the 4th of May, Cinco de Mayo, at the T-Mobile Arena, with you involved. Boxing world is on notice that now we're going into what? We're going into the main event. And this is a great way to start it. As you say, this is a way to start it with an action fight that most people knew who was going to win, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, most people thought they knew who was going to win, and it has to be said that Chris Pearson is coming back from adversity. He started his career on a path, a trajectory where he was the A side. He had the promoter. He had the right
everything
path.
Everything
going for him. He took an L, took another one, had to recoup, figure out how to come back to this thing after the drawing board, and his catchphrase is stay at it. He stayed at it. It paid off. And tonight, Golden Boy, Facebook, on the DAZN Fight Week, has given a fighter who was facing adversity a chance to show what is inside him. And tonight, Chris Pearson did that. So kudos to him. Kudos to everybody involved for putting stages on like this for fighters to be able to do exactly what Chris Pearson did tonight. Turning our attention to Saturday night, another young man who's come back from adversity, far greater than most of us have to face in our lifetime, hopefully never will, a trial with cancer, is looking to clear a hurdle that only Floyd Mayweather has cleared to this date. Obviously, we're talking about Danny Jacobs and Canelo on Saturday at T-Mobile Arena. This is your division. Dr. Bernard Hopkins, break this fight down for me.
This fight, first of all, Jacobs, who you mentioned, survived and KO'd one of the biggest adversities and biggest death sentence of our modern time, and that is cancer of any sort. When somebody beat cancer and knock cancer out in any way, why would Jacob be scared of Canelo? Beat cancer. That kinds of worried me, to know a guy demeanor, especially on top of that. No one is giving you majority of people are not giving you a chance of winning the fight when it's all said and done, whether it's by judges, whether it's by knockout, TKO, however. But Jacob is one of those dark horse guys, right? And if you look at his ability, his amateur pedigree, his Brownville, Brooklyn, of all places, where champions came, Riddick Bowe, Tyson, I believe, and many more. He has he has an opportunity, Jacob that is, to put his name up in those lights. What Canelo have to do, from my perspective, I was loud and boldly clear about this. He must make this fight inside and dirty and rough. He must not give Jacob an opportunity to work from a distance of comfortability. Where did I get that from? There's always a blueprint on even the greatest fighters of the world. It's just who can execute to expose that negative or that weakness. Triple G fought both of these guys. What I seen what Canelo can do that was obviously to Jacob's failure to win that fight, to me, was inside. And I believe he couldn't keep him off, that is, Triple G off. Canelo has a style of aggressive, passive aggressive. But he also has a style of what? Counter-punching, movement. He's very agile in the middle, very aware, very alert in his punch and his reaction. He don't have to wait and stop and start up and then shoot again. No, Canelo has these things to make Jacob feels that he has an opportunity when he's close, but take it away from him. It's sort of like the peekaboo. The door open, but it's really closed. If he fight a disciplined fight, Canelo that is, a rough but a technical fight inside, smother Jacob, make him fight harder than he wants to every round, make him push on the gas pedal to not only to fight back, but to survive and also to defend himself. It will be a night of action early fight, but a KO in the 8th, maybe 9th round. If Canelo doesn't do that and be disciplined to wait to do that at the right time, early than later, then Jacob will have a boxing clinic display amongst the world to watch. That is my perspective on the do's and don't. What Jacob need to do is to keep him at arm's length. That is Canelo. Make him come in and make him pay, but tie him up inside. Not fight fire with fire.
This is the first time since the Canelo era began, if we can call it that I've seen you give an assessment of how the other fighter not just could win, but might win. Even with Triple G, you called him a caveman. You seemed very comfortable that Canelo was going to win that fight. You never had any doubt. With Jacobs, it's a little bit different.
Urban style.
He calls it African style.
I'm being more political. I stuttered there. I'm being more politically correct. I call it the urban style. But now that I'm being informed by Radio Rahim that he called it the African style. So you see we got the same mentality. Mm-hmm. And that's why this fight worries me. And that's why with the credibility that I think I've earned over the years, to be a doctor, to be an analyst, to be able to say styles can be manipulated and they can be overlooked, but they also can be a telltale sign. The telltale sign is what? That urban style that Daniel present from the amateurs to now and where his DNA is in Brownville. This fight worries me.
That's a barn burner. I'm telling you, that's the first time. The doctor does not mince words when it comes to his assessment. That's a new one, and I think warranted. It's interesting when we talk about styles making fights, and both fighters have trainers in their corner that they depend on heavily to come up with strategies and techniques to win whatever fight is in front of them. There's been a lot of conversation about Triple G, who you call a caveman, which has something to do with his style, separating from his longtime trainer, Abel Sanchez. So I'm curious, what do you think of that split, and is Triple G making the right choice?
I think it was an emotional choice than the right choice. And that answer is no. I think Abel Sanchez is one of the top, for the last 15 years or more, best trainer out there, and always came with his all. Even when I used to train up in Big Bear, in my early relationship of business with Golden Boy Promotion. I think that when you win and your team stay intact, when things changes, even if it's a draw, you don't see a movement. But I believe it had a lot to do with him thinking that he didn't get better because of Abel. Maybe you just can't get better because this is who you are. The style that he fights has been historic, even with the defenses. That tied my record. To me, that one I couldn't understand. From the perspective of understanding of, okay, the first fight, he could have made the move. The second fight, he feels he needed to make the move. Triple G haven't got better or changed in the last 8, 9 fights to make me believe that getting rid of Abel Sanchez was warranted. Because to me, he fought the way he fights for most of his career, if not all, at least 80% of it. Have I seen him try to box or back up and throw a jab? That was just to find his wits. But he is and always will be who he is. When he fights on the zone again, and I'm glad he's over at the family now, with the hopes of getting a third fight, with Canelo, I don't see the change of teachers and get a trainer, which is a difference, at least to me, to change a leopard stripes.
Spots.
Or spots. I never knew my animals anyway. You know, I failed an animal kingdom class.
I've been watching Our Planet.
So never been in no Philly in Philadelphia. You'll see some spots. You'll see some spots and stripes on some different animals that you never see in the animal world.
Fair play. There's a fight that went on here. A guy got hit low, and we're talking about a leopard changing his spots and whatnot. Every time now, in the past couple weeks, I see a guy get hit low, I think about Amir Khan and the controversy as to how that fight finished. You've faced all kind of adversity in the ring. A lot of fights have ended in odd ways when Bernard Hopkins is in there. How did you assess that moment when Khan decided he couldn't continue because of a low blow?
Yo, he got hit pretty good. I talked to a couple of guys that used to be married, and they got hit in the balls a lot of times that didn't recover. And let me tell you something. I've been hit maybe once. No, I've been hit more than once, like twice. But I also went low a couple of times, not intentionally. Just, you know, I stayed in the game too long, and my eyes got a little like glary. I thought missing the belt line.
Oh.
But let me tell you something. You can shake off a head shot. You can shake off an arm shot. But a body shot or a low blow, you can't shake it off. You need time. That's why they give you time. 3 minutes. Get your bearings, get your wit. And even though you must fight, that effect and that pain is still there. Now, is it a chance of some exaggeration in some low blows? Yeah, watch the NBA sometimes. Guys sort of overreact. But that was legitimate, and I believe no matter if it was a low blow or not, I think he wouldn't have won the fight because I just think the matchup was so talent-wise one-sided compared to Amira's style and what he don't really have coming up against that heat from Crawford. You're dealing with a faster, much wittier Donald Curry or back in the day type of smooth operator. And listen, Crawford, Donald Curry was a badass. He was a silent killer. And that's what I look at him as. He's not a trash talker. He comes across smooth. He take care of his business. A little bit more of confident than a Donald Curry, but the style, the smoothness, and the way he execute when he fights. I'm very impressed with him. And I know the question is coming because I can read your mind. I want to see him and Spence. Listen. I read your mind. Listen. You are a boxing genius and understanding matchmaking. You could be a matchmaker just as well as you can be I guess not a news guy, not a reporter, but a guy that gives information. And the information is key. I want to see Spence, and I want to see Crawford. I'm a fan first before a promoter, or a commentator, or an opinionator. These fights, no matter who promote them, when they matched up like that, I don't care whose side you on. You're going to pay to see it. You're going to watch it, or get on the plane and go see it.
In these last two fights, Khan and Crawford, Garcia and Spence, did you learn anything from watching those fights? Either changed your mind or solidified your opinion? Who wins that fight? Everybody want to see it. Who's going to win it?
I like Crawford to beat Spence. I like Garcia. Because of the experience and where their health and their freshness in the fights they fought leading up to this fight. I don't see wear and tear on Crawford. I don't see wear and tear on Garcia. I see these guys at they prime, ready, but I see I'm not going to say their opponent. I'll see their future superstar matchups being a tab under that experience. I think when it comes to matchups like this, where both guys is bringing physical equal or one has the experience even more, I think it matches up and give the veteran, not even a veteran, how can you call Crawford a veteran? Not that you call it, but I can't even call him that. The more experienced guy is still with youth, still within his 20s, still got more experience than his young up-and-coming future superstar. The ingredients is there. Spence's 1, maybe 2 fights. The one is if you get past Crawford, and then another to be named as like Mayweather in that position of the best fighter in the world, the superstar of the world, behind Canelo, long as Canelo continue to win. Then you got Garcia. Then you got other movers and shakers down that's on the top 5. I don't even go to top 10.
Well, just to be clear, how Crawford edges Spence is experience?
No, it's experience for Crawford. Yeah.
That's how he went. I mean, that's the difference between Spence and Crawford?
The experience and their style. I mean, I think Crawford is more seasoned than Spence. I mean, we weren't talking about Spence 3 years ago, 4 years ago. He was around. Right, undercards here, undercards there, right? Remember Al Heyman had on them undercards. Remember that? Right, he's a little guy in the corner, sitting there. I remember. Right, we Golden Boys promoting him. So I know when Spence really came on the scene, not from the amateur respect of it, but just knowing, oh, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, oh, this guy gonna be sharp, brother Nazim, right? Who knows mostly, if not all, the amateurs back then, a couple of years ago, and I know he know now, even though I don't see him as much and talk to him as I used to, but he told me about Spence. I'm like, okay. Right, quiet, kind of meek type of guy, right? Getting a little bit more voicey now, but the shock of, ooh, this is a different level. That's been proven in history. Every fighter can't prove that, but Crawford, man, he's nobody to look at as a stepping stone. Not now, right? A year or two go by, maybe he has some hard, tough Mexican fights or whatever, get banged up a little bit, little wear and tear here, little wear and tear there, squeak out Crawford, maybe some wins here, then he'd be like, oh, let's go get him. But to jump on him now, I'm going with Crawford. If he jump on him now, between now and early next year, I'm going with Crawford.
Interesting. Now, once this middleweight challenge is out of the way, that's behind us, whatever happens, happens. I'm going to take a week off, and then I got 5 weeks of straight heavyweight fights. I can't wait. That is going to be a tremendous run. And all the stars in the heavyweight division will be performing. The one that interests me most...
There's only one star in this division.
In the heavyweight's only one star?
Yep, and the rest of them are half of stars. There's only one star in this heavyweight division right now. It's Joshua. Wilder, respect, been in his presence, mad respect for me. But all around, no weaknesses. Well, everybody got weaknesses, but not visible. Joshua, to me, is the superstar and the heavyweight to beat. And right now, when it comes to that division, like most division, it ain't about who got the most belts, even though I believe Joshua do. But to me, not only he has the persona, all the attitude, the confident, the salesmanship, he can flat out fight. And I will be in New York not only to support what I believe in the heavyweight division, but to go ahead and witness the growth and the experience of development come to fruition.
Lastly,
he's the man to beat in the heavyweight division, from my perspective.
Lastly, Bernard, since you hung up your gloves, you've been a busy, busy man. We just talked about you receiving a doctorate just next week.
Yep.
You're a promoter.
May 9th. Yep.
You're a commentator. I just saw you up in a fighter's locker room giving him the wisdom, fighter to fighter.
Yep.
You're a mentor.
And come to Golden Boy, sign with us.
Yeah. All these hats that you wear, all of these jobs that you have, after leaving the ring, where have you found the greatest glory? What gives you the most satisfaction? Or is even there a moment that has been the best for you post-fight career?
Having the opportunity with my credibility behind me and my struggles and my adversity and all kinds of stuff that can really discourage you, to also be a inspiration to those and to help not only fighters, but also people not to give up and fulfill their goals and never stop trying. And you don't have to change. You can change lanes and understand that if this don't work, be multitask in life. So all the things that I'm doing, and I'm not chasing a dollar's chasing me. It's good to be in position where a dollar is chasing you. To be an inspiration, because there's people that I would never meet. There's people that I would never speak to, but they are watching through social media, and they're watching through my media, and they're watching me whether I'm on DAZN, whether I'm on Facebook, or whether I'm on seconds.com with SecondsOut.com, right? Yeah. With your truly Radio Rahim. So they continue inspiring people through your network, through Golden Boy partnership, through every outlet that's positive, because I am an inspiration and I want to spread that to others. So I know I answered that question long, but what do I ever answer a question easy or short?
And you had a lot to say because you're doing a lot of things. Radio Rahim with the Executioner. the alien, the legend, the doctor, Bernard Hopkins.
Yes. Peace. Radio Rahim in the house.
Thank you, sir.